Ladies and gentlemen, the studios of Just Flight have been preparing their final touches towards the Piper Arrow Turbo. In the meanwhile, they reached out to us to give this bird a try and see what's more exciting about it. Before we begin, I'd like to welcome you to the channel. Make sure to hit that subscribe button for future releases on absolutely anything related to flight simming, be it development updates, marketplace add-ons, the latest trends on Microsoft Flight Simulator. You've come to the right place. Right after the release of the Piper Arrow 3 just a couple of months ago, this has been the next focus towards development. Both the models Piper Arrow Turbo 3 as well as 4 are right now in the final stages of development, which is getting prepared for its release this week. A 4-seater turbocharged piston engine aircraft which is equipped with a retractable tricycle landing gear that is ideal for weekend-long trips. The story began in 1971, where the Arrow began with the Piper Cherokee that was more set as an affordable alternative to Piper's Comanche and to compete against the Cessna 172. We decided to take a short flight out in the region of New Zealand, a beautiful location indeed, to see how it performed and responded. Do feel free to write any comments or questions, and I'd like to mention again, this is a pre-release version that is not 100% final product, certainly felt like one for us. There are a few minor things that are pending fixes, and once they're finalized, they would then decide on making it official. With the Piper Arrow 3 in release from the studios, there are certainly quite some differences between the versions, as this bags a larger fuel tank that gives you capacity to go longer distances and a semi-tapered wing along with a long stabilator which can improve low-speed handling. The fuel capacity is set at 77 gallons, approximately 292 liters. With a range of 695 nautical miles and a ceiling limit of 20,000 feet, this can be a good companion for weekend getaways. It comes with 5 paint schemes for each variant, which is 3 and 4, from different countries that include the US, Germany, UK, Switzerland and Australia. The basic airframe is constructed out of aluminum alloy that contain the decals paint jobs perfectly done for this model. The cockpit, an impressive one at the first look, appears truly 3D-like, with all the instruments that are immaculately modeled from seat belts all the way to screw heads. Observing the left panel, it has all the indicators that are accurate, which contain the vacuum gauge, airspeed indicator, attitude indicator which display the horizon depending on the level it is, unsafe gear warning light which works effectively and appeared a few times alerting us to keep up with the speed, the altimeter, annunciator button along with the lights, the VOR ILS indicator that is geared by the KX170B, low voltage warning light, ADF indicator, turn and back indicator, direction indicator, vertical speed indicator, and the VOR indicator which is geared by the KX175B function well. Coming towards the left mid panel, indicators for oil pressure, oil temperature, ammeter, yoke, total click spot, left fuel tank quantity, fuel pressure and right fuel tank function work as per required. The instruments from the electric pitch, trim push button, manifold pressure, tachometer, gear position lights, all the way to the magneto selector have responded quite well. The fuel tank selector on the left sidewall, which also has the emergency locator, transmitter switch, and not to forget a detailed storm window which shows signs of age. Looking at the right hand side of the panel, if you observe all the controls, they are all functional, from the intercom switch to the DME selector switch, the GPS, standby altimeter, heating control levers, fan control switch. It shows wear and tear. It looks well constructed with an age-like feel, and that's how it's supposed to be. The usage of the instruments make it appear like years of use. Seems very interesting. The fine points that can be noted would be the details all over the cockpit, which shows that the developers have taken their time to make it appear as authentic as possible. Quite a character this aircraft has that adds towards the charm in the way the cockpit feels. More like a well-used and maintained aircraft rather than a brand new one, which makes it interesting. In comparison to the Piper Arrow 3, that version had more dust on the floor. However, this is more of a cleaner Piper version in the latest upcoming installment, I suppose. Observing the center panel, we can see all the instruments that have the audio selectors, transponder, alternator switches, fuel pump switches, all the way to the air control lever. Details definitely matter, and it's nice to see the level of fine points here. The team have made sure of improving cosmetic areas all over the place, including both the radios, which pilots have to depend on every flight. It has a convincing feel with the way it looks that's certainly appreciative. Very clearly, this shows all the work the developer has taken into mind to present the details, and they've referenced the real aircraft to show this amount of texturing and detail that outline more of originality when you observe it clearly. In inclusion of all the instruments in the cockpit, a tablet is included to control various options of the aircraft and checking any flight information that can help the pilot on knowing the current status of the plane. It is equipped with an electronic flight bag basically, and options like auto fuel tank switching that can deem useful on long distance cross-country flights, different states of the aircraft like the cold and dark, ready for takeoff and ready for start status can be seen. The GPS unit selection is included between the GPS 100, GNS 530 or GTN 750. Observing the yoke, it has a mounted flight timer clock, making it rather easier to clock the trip. We tried all the instruments and the dials responded well, a detailed model of the actual aircraft that can deliver flight behavior quite accurately. We felt that the dynamics are realistic, which performed accurately. In regards to some of the pending things that are ongoing before the release this week, the FDE along with the sounds are not final yet, so don't take this as an official note at the moment until it's being released. They are making their last minute tweaks before calling it official. In addition, there are some turbocharger and engine failure codes that need to be revised before the release. Likewise, the warnings section, engine damage, rate of damage, and a few other areas need to be finalized. I would say a lot of research has been spent towards this beautiful model. Just Flight is certainly determined to deliver an exceptional product that can convey the true core of what flying on a Piper Arrow really is. It's great to see another exciting addition from Just Flight, who are keen on presenting unstoppable beauties from their studios, a beautiful product that can showcase the purpose of flying, I would rather say. It was certainly a pleasure to be with you all. Make sure to hit that like button, as it can always make a difference to us. Do subscribe for future releases and more exciting content. Until next time, take care and happy flying, folks.
Feels like